Hello everyone, welcome once again to Scorpion Cigar Reviews. Today I will be reviewing a cigar from the Privada Cigar Club. And this is my second installment that I've received from them. I've only recently joined, so this is the second installment. I'm not going to bore you with ripping the package open and unboxing it and everything else, and once again, it does come with a paper describing the three cigars that you have. And this particular cigar that I'll be smoking tonight is the Montenegro Cigars White Series Crucero. And then it does further say on the secondary band, Edicion Limitada 2018. So, kind of an interesting shape. Looks like a torpedo from a submarine. I'm an idiot. But anyway, it is what it is. Interesting shape, like I said. It's probably gonna give me a little difficulty lighting, being this shape that it is. On the nose. Not picking up anything special. Just smells like just basic cigar tobacco. There's nothing unique about it. Nothing off about it either. Just I'm not picking up any of those fine nuances. There's no leather. There's no cedar. There's no grain. There's no cocoa. There's no coffee. There's no barnyard. There's nothing floral to it. There's no honey. I'm not getting any of that. Nothing. Just a little bit of tobacco now. Just basic, bare bones tobacco. Okay. Can't really snort that foot. Well, I guess I could jam it all the way up in my brain, but I'm not going to do that. So without any further ado, I'm going to clip this bad boy using my Cigar guillotine cutter. Just the tip. Remember that. Just the tip. Yeah. I'm also not going to get any pre-light draws on this because this insane point that it comes to doesn't allow that. So, if you are anything at all like me, and I like to get pre-light draws and snort the foot and see what all I can get from this thing before I ever light it, you're going to be disappointed because you're not going to get anything. You're not going to even be able to do that. It is what it is. It could be a phenomenal cigar. I wonder if I sold myself short with a double torch Cigar. Maybe I should have grabbed a quad torch. But anyway, let's see what happens. Now, initially, I was going to pair this with Elijah Craig. Small batch. Had it out, all set up, ready to go. And I was looking at the paper that Brian from Privada Cigars includes with the shipments. And I'm not looking for tasting notes because I don't want my perception to be altered or enhanced or influenced in any way by what somebody else is saying about it. I was kind of skimming over it, trying to avoid tasting notes. And then I saw him pairing something about, oh, it'd be great after pancakes with syrup. And I thought, oh, well then maybe I should switch my bourbon to one called Second Glance. The reason I did that was because first time I had it, I thought, tastes like it's got maple syrup in it. Not like it's been like poured into it, but it's definitely got a maple syrup aftertaste character. Just some of the nuances, the vanilla from the oak casks, that kind of thing. But it was just really, really good. Like, oh my God, this stuff is phenomenal. So I thought, well, if he's talking about pancakes and maple syrup, maybe this would be the route to go. So normally I drink it neat, add a little bit of water maybe to open it up, but I decided I'm going to do it on an ice sphere in a rocks glass. So, what I've gone with, second glance, hopefully it'll pair nicely with this. And I haven't had this on the rocks as of yet. So, but I did find diluting with a little bit of water really opened up the flavors. So we'll see what happens. Oh, yeah, it smells great. But this is a cigar review. Draws tight right from the beginning. And I attest that to that, or attribute that, I should say, to this really sharp point on the foot. I don't like that, and I've already told you why. You don't get your pre-light nosing and pre-light draw and that kind of thing. And I tell you, this thing is packed really hard. I do have a draw tool nearby just in case. Well, I don't think I'm going to need it. It's starting to open up as I'm burning through that point. Okay, it's coming into its own. Very spicy on the retrohale, very spicy. Oh, that's fantastic. Real punch to the nose. Yeah. Nice and spicy on the rear of the palate, mid palate, retrohale. Yeah, it's like you're baking with, say, cayenne pepper or something in powdered form, and you shake it. You shake it in, and you're pinching it and moving around your pan, and it kind of wafts up with the steam, and you're like, oh, that burns. Yeah, in a good way. It's in a good way. If you like that kind of thing. All right, I'm gonna continue smoking this. I'll come back somewhere into the first third and see how this progresses. See in a bit. All right, so I've gotten past that crazy point early in the first third. And the good news is I'm not going to foresee needing my draw poker at all. As I suspected, it was just because it came to that crazy tight point. But once it burned through that, it opened up just fine, no issues. Great looking label. Nice artwork on it. Good design. Has like a, I guess that's supposed to be a lion head maybe. Lots of what do you call it, filigree or whatever, with the nice scroll work and all done in gold on a white label. Very classy, nice touch. Now, I don't know what the tobaccos are in this. It doesn't list it on the paper, but this cigar was originally made only to be sold in Beverly Hills at a club. and Brian convinced them to sell them to us through him at a greatly reduced price, so he can afford, so he could include it in these $25 packs of 3, this along with 2 other cigars, which I receive every month. It's 3 different cigars every month. I'm not going to go into that. It's not about reviewing Privada, it's about reviewing the cigars that you get. So anyway, the tobaccos, whatever they may be, and I'm assuming this is it's like a nice oily Maduro type. Like I said, I don't know what all the blend is in here, but yeah, it feels nice. It's very silky smooth. I don't even know what the ring gauge is. It's got to be pushing 60 ring. But the tobacco's were aged for 5 years before they rolled the cigars, and then once rolled, aged another 6 to 12 months before being released. So you're talking about 6 years age on the tobacco by the time we receive it to smoke it. So yeah, there's some time that goes into this. And rolling it the way they did definitely takes some time. So it's a nice craft piece. While it's very good, I'm not getting any nuances of anything. It's just seems to be just a basic cigar. And honestly, that's kind of what the cigar company is supposedly going for. You know, they're not faking anything. They're not trying to infuse it with anything or flavor it with anything or put some kind of special fertilizer or anything. In fact, they say they don't use pesticides or anything. It's all natural. They don't infuse it. They don't do anything. Just pure tobacco, and that's what they state. And that's what I'm getting. Just pure, basic, simple tobacco. So the real spicy punch to the face that I got on the initial lighting, greatly diminished. Still has some spice there, but it's greatly diminished. Even on the retrohale, it's almost non-existent. There's a spice there, but not one of those punch to the nose kind of thing. I'll continue smoking this, and I'll come back somewhere in the second, third, and we'll take it from there. See you in a bit. And what about the second glance American whiskey? Because that's what it really is American whiskey. Now, this is made by a winemaker in Napa Valley. It's a 5-year-old whiskey that was crafted by winemaker Dave Finney. Never heard of that name. I don't know what he does. And it's finished in Cabernet wine barrels from the Napa Valley. And this is an American whiskey. It's not a bourbon. And the neat thing is that this bottle, so it's squared off, you know, and it's this matte black. And the enclosure is of the same material. It's glass, and it's, you know, so it doesn't have a cork. There's no plastic there, but it does have a plastic seal, so it'll actually seal. So you're not going to have to worry about a cork rotting or anything like that. Just make it a really nice decanter. You know, pull the label off and use it as a nice decanter. It's really neat. If you're into the matte black type of stuff, definitely the way to go. Really cool. And it's maybe on an ice sphere, you're not getting all the flavors. I drank it neat with a few drops of water afterwards, and I definitely picked out maple and vanilla, and a little bit of the oak, some other things, a little bit of spice from the Cabernet, but a lot of that gets washed out. Oh, I am picking up a little bit of the Cabernet on the nose now. Possibly, yeah. But initially, I'd gotten some maple and some vanilla, and I'm not getting that on the rocks with this ice sphere. But, you know, the different ways you do your whiskey will bring out different flavors. Ice will enhance it in one way. Using a Glencairn glass will enhance it another way. Yada yada, etc., etc. All right, to each his own. For me, when I'm trying a whiskey for the first time, I use my Glencairn glass, so I can get all that that whiskey has to offer. And then I try it in other formats, and in this case, in a rocks glass, a tapered rocks glass, not the wide mouth. And I put my ice sphere in there, and actually had to melt it down to get it to go in there. But it's still pleasant, not as pleasant as it is neat. And this comes in at, I think it was 44% alcohol by volume. Yeah, 44% alcohol by volume, 88 proof. Still enjoyable, but I think I prefer it neat. Anyway, let's get back to the cigar. All right, so I removed not only the foot band, but the main band as well, because together they were so thick. Even just the main band, you know, so large that to even get into the second third, you got to remove it. A little difficulty removing both bands. Way too much glue. They should have used one of those pressure glue bands instead of actually applying glue. Would have come off easier and neater, especially for those that like to save the bands for whatever, you know, whether you make like a shadow box or use them to make ashtrays, or, you know, whatever kind of cigar band artwork you like to do, or whatever, something, you know, put them in a scrapbook, whatever. I was able to get them off without damage, but it was very tricky. And also, I switched to an espresso. The reason I did that was because in the tasting notes, there was no mention of bourbon or whiskey of any kind, or any kind of spirits of any kind. Specifically, it mentioned champagne and coffee. For me, anytime I've had champagne paired with a cigar, the champagne made the cigar taste kind of sour, like grapefruity sour, kind of, not sour as in the cigar's gone bad, but you know, like grapefruity, that bitterness that you get from grapefruit. And for me, it tends to ruin my cigar experience, so I had no intention of going with champagne. Now maybe if I'd done like a spumante, you know, something sweet, might not do the same. But so I opted to go with coffee, and for me, my coffee of choice is espresso, and I'm enjoying it. Both the espresso and the cigar. There's still not a whole lot going on with this cigar. It's a very basic cigar. Not a lot of flavor changes, not a lot of nuances. There's nothing bad there. Just a real basic, plain Jane cigar. For a moment there, I thought I picked up a little bit of cedar spice, but it only lasted for a couple draws, and then now it's gone. And I'm switching back and forth. I'll take a few draws, take a drink of my espresso, take another few draws, take a drink of my whiskey, take another few draws, to see what kind of flavors are playing back and forth off of each other. And I'm not really getting any kind of flavor enhancements based on either drink. It's a good cigar, don't get me wrong. I'm enjoying the cigar. But for me, I like a cigar that not only has that peppery punch to the face at various stages in the smoking of the cigar, but I also like flavor changes. And I'm still not sure what the tobacco blend is. I'm thinking maybe this is a Connecticut broadleaf Maduro. It's got a oily sheen to it, kind of a satiny sheen, not real shiny, but like a satiny shine. And once I remove the bands, I'm starting to split a little bit, little crack right there. Not a big issue. It's not blowing up on me. I'm not hearing like snap, crackle, pop going on, like there's stems in there or anything, or something that hasn't been cured properly. I'm not getting any moisture issues. I'm not getting any tar issues. It's not real strong on the nicotine. This is a medium body, mild strength cigar. I actually get more from, say, a Romeo y Julieta 1875, just the basic core line, as far as mouthfeel and body and strength, than I am from this, which is really surprising, being a, typically the darker wrappers give you more flavor and more strength. Typically, in general, not always. And this is one of the cases that it's not. So I think I'm more disappointed in the fact that I've lost that peppery, spicy kick to the nose when I retrohale. I'm not getting that anymore. And that's more of a disappointment than not getting flavor changes. This profile it's flatlined. Initially it was ba-bam, ba-bam. Call it 5:08 p.m. Just saying. Now, it may change as I get into the final third and maybe even into the nub. I've said it a million times. You can get phenomenal changes in the nub. Don't know. I'll continue smoking this. I'll come back in the final third and let you know my impressions from there. See you in a bit. Golf, tennis, beer pong, I don't care. Whatever you're into. This would not be the cigar that you would smoke watching the championship match. This is not a championship cigar. It just isn't. This is a cigar you would smoke watching spring practice. What's your team look like at spring practice? I'm just about into the nub. I'm going to end this here. This has been an unexciting journey from what promised to be not necessarily a phenomenal cigar, but it promised to be something that a purist could really enjoy, because it doesn't have all the bells and whistles and nuances, halftime, show, and all that. If that's what you're into, fine. But for me, I want something that's going to go, man, look what I got here, and now I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to go down here. Just that, bow, 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 bow. All these changes. That's what I like. For me. There are lots of people out there that like the, not me. I like changes. I like something that's going to bring its A game. Every step of the way, every draw is going to be, wow, look what I'm getting now. Wow, oh, what do I taste now? Oh, wow, look at this nuance. Oh, there's something in the background. Not with this cigar. This cigar is always just kind of, started off with a bam, bam, then it just went, then it went, not a lot of big changes. For me, it wasn't boring, but it was just, mediocre. It's like, instead of the NFL, the AFL. Just saying. So, if I were to give this cigar a score, I didn't bring out my scoring sheet. But for me, this cigar rated below my minimal rating for a cigar that I would smoke again. I don't dislike this cigar. But if I were to find this cigar in a shop, even at a reasonable price, I wouldn't pick it up. And this cigar, according to Privada Cigar Club, normally sells in Beverly Hills, California, for somewhere between $25 and $40. Oh my God, are you serious? This is a $5 cigar. $5 cigar. That's all it is. I would smoke this mowing the grass. I would smoke this watching Scooby-Doo. Ruh-roh. Exactly. So there you have it, folks. If you're familiar with my cigar review channel, my baseline for a cigar that would rate high enough to be considered a good cigar is 88 points. That's the minimal. This doesn't even score 88 points. 85, 83, somewhere in there. I did have some burn issues. I didn't have to relight, but I did touch up after I tapped the ash. And it was just a crazy burn where the cigar split, touched it up. It kept burning just fine. No issues with the burn, really. But this is not something that I would recommend to someone that likes changes. If you like something that's just really plain Jane at the low end and needs to, okay, fine. If you're new to cigar smoking this would probably put you off. It's like, well, what's so fantastic about cigars? Yeah, sure. I mean, it didn't taste gross. There weren't big burn issues. I didn't get ash all over my body. But what else do you got there, buddy? That's what this cigar is. What else do you got, buddy? So I thank you for once again wash your hands of Scorpion Cigar Reviews when you're smoking this. Thanks for watching Scorpion Cigar Reviews. I'll catch you next time.